What up, y'all? The Knight of Green here with the martial arts analysis on Bloodborne's boss, Gehrman, the first hunter. In this video, I will make theories on how Gehrman's fighting style was developed using item descriptions, lore theories, and game observations. I will also recreate the moves as best as I can in real life using what I have available to me. Unlike most of my other boss martial arts analysis videos, I will not focus on the corrections on the movesets since overall, outside of the spitting, unrealistic leaps, and transforming attacks, the moves are relatively serviceable. If you like this type of content and or enjoy dinosaurs and video game martial arts brought to life, check out my previous works through my well-organized playlists. Also subscribe if you are new to the channel and turn on notifications to keep yourself updated. I've been working with the creators of the Champions Ash mod for Dark Souls 3, and I will be discussing some of the weapon moveset modifications that the team has made. And to my existing subs, please spread this channel to your friends and family so we can grow here. It means a lot to have your support and encouragement. I'm also working on a super secret project for you guys, which I have laid some hints about in my most previous videos. Anyway, without further ado, let's get on with the video. Now, one thing I can say about Bloodborne is that it is much more cryptic compared to the Dark Souls games when it comes to piecing together lore events. However, we can make some inferences based on connections we do find. Let's first look at what we can glean from Gehrman's appearances. When he is not in his boss fight, he wears the Gehrman set, has a peg leg, sits in a wheelchair, and has a cane. When looking at the item description for Gehrman's set, it states that these are plain clothes that have been modified to be more efficient in combat. This suggests that Gehrman was a pretty ordinary person before all this, unlike some high-profile hunters like his apprentice Maria, who was of vile blood nobility. Gehrman has a peg leg which seems to hamper somewhat his ability to walk, and it is what keeps him mostly wheelchair-bound. I think based on the cutscene that plays when we choose to accept the moon presence, that he was mangled by the Great One when he formed a bond with it. Lastly, looking at his cane, it is possible that it may be a threaded cane, which does imply that he views beast hunting as a reverent ceremony to put down the person that turned into a monster. During the boss fight, Gehrman changes into a completely different outfit. His hat becomes more so like a top hat, and his gauntlets and chest piece become very similar to the charred hunter's set. He also wields the burial blade with a blunderbuss that can switch out its spread shot for a staggering powerful single shot setting. The top hat, like the threaded cane, paints the user as a hunter with honor, dignity, and elegance at the forefront of their character. The fact that the gauntlets and the chest piece are similar to the charred hunter set, him setting the hunter's dream on fire, and his old Yharnam dialogue does hint that Gehrman played an active role in the destruction of the place back in the day. His main weapon, the burial blade, is made out of a rare material known as siderite, which is only found in meteorites. In-game, only the burial blade and Eileen's Blades of Mercy are stated to have been constructed with this material, which gives them an innate arcane damage and magnetic abilities. Curiously, Gehrman terminates hunters in the Hunter's Dream, while Eileen and the Hunter of Hunters Covenant decommissions hunters in the living world. Because of the above details, Gehrman's reverence for hunts, and his dialogue about how hunters' helpers are known to take out people who stray too far into beasthood, there is a distinct possibility that Gehrman was involved with or acted as an inspiration for the Hunter of Hunters Covenant. Speaking of the burial blade, let's talk more so about its combat abilities. It is quite complex as it is a curved sword that can be magnetically fitted into a collapsed handle to extend into a scythe. While scythes were traditionally farming tools used to reap wheat, as with most things, it could be used as a makeshift weapon with the right mindset. Funnily enough, in real life, there are historic manuals that teach farming scythe combat techniques, just in case someone were to, try to jump you at your farm. There are also subsections of polearm class weapons called war scythes. These weapons specialized in devastating armor-punching piercing attacks, as well as having hooks to immobilize opponents on horseback. While in Bloodborne, heavy armor is an extreme rarity, having a heavy-ended piercing weapon could be useful in taking down large beasts or enemy hunters quickly and efficiently. Outside of the scythe form, Gehrman treats the curved sword form as if it was some type of saber weapon, considering how he has extensive sword flurry combos. Gehrman's fighting style is very reminiscent to that of the player character. He focuses on speed, power, and accuracy, but he also has a hint of deception. Unlike most hunters that attacked opponents in a very direct, mindless, and almost brutish manner, Gehrman prefers to employ calculated attacks to strike at an opponent's blind spots. This may be in part a result of how he focuses on delivering a swift and honorable death to his adversaries, and oftentimes, it is the hits that the opponents cannot see that will be the end of them. Outside of his weapons, Gehrman also has the ability to use the art of quickening when dodging, which is most likely some type of short-range teleportation. One thing to note from this technique is that every user who uses the ability without the use of the Hunter's Bone has a different colored aura upon activation. Due to the fact that Gehrman draws his power from the moon presence, especially when he's close to death, it is possible that the quickening color may be indicative to a hunter's relationship to a particular Great One. He can also do gravity-defying leaps and shoot invisible moon blast, which may be him channeling the moon presence power through himself. Taking all of this that we discussed earlier into consideration, his dialogue when he's asleep, and the art book from the Old Hunters DLC, it is possible we can form some sort of loose narrative on what his story is. It is possible a long time ago, before the events of the game, that Gehrman was some sort of farmhand, assistant, teacher, and/or martial arts instructor at the Bergenworth Academy who accompanied the scholars in their tomb prospecting investigations to discover artifacts of ancient civilizations and eldritch deities known as Great Ones. We know that at the time, he led a band of old hunters to ransack the fishing hamlet and hunt down the Great One known as Mother Koss in order to learn more about the nature of these entities. This act doomed all hunters to a curse of ending up in a nightmare when they die. At some point along the way, Lawrence decided to set up shop in Yharnam using the ancient blood techniques discovered while tomb prospecting to quote-unquote heal people. The side effects of consuming the blood of the Great Ones started turning people into werewolf-like beasts. So, Gehrman created the Hunter's Workshop and acted as a mentor to the new generation of hunters, and may have been present up until the events around the time of the destruction of Old Yharnam. However, he was pulled outside the physical world into the hunter's dream, where he continues to mentor other hunters. He also severs the connection that traitorous hunters have with the hunter's dream to free them from their curse. Unfortunately, because of his absence in the physical world, the hunters of Yharnam moved on without him, and the Healing Church took control over the hunting division. Sadly, the Healing Church did not have the same honorable ideals as Gehrman did, and turned the hunting profession into a brutal blood sport that we see now, as opposed to the honorable send-off that Gehrman felt that hunts should be for the victims. Only a handful of individuals still idolize the old hunter's ways, but at least when we fight Gehrman, we have one last chance to dance with the first and original old hunter. Anyway, I'm done with breaking down the lore. Here is the boss moveset recreations. Hope you enjoy.
Good hunter, you've done well. The night is near its end. Now, I will show you mercy. You will die, forget the dream, and awake under the morning sun. You will be freed from this terrible hunter's dream. Dear, oh dear, what was it? The hunt, the blood, or the horrible dream? Oh, it doesn't matter. It always comes down to the hunter's helper to clean up after these sorts of messes. Tonight, Gehrman joins the hunt.